Welcome and thank you for listening to the Sales Maven Show. I'm your host, Nikki Rausch, your own personal sales maven. I'm here to offer you tips and strategies and techniques to master your sales conversations. Okay, tell me, do you want to make more revenue this year? And do you not want to have to work more hours? And do you not want to have to chase new leads constantly? So here's the temptation that comes up when this happens. Someone offers you a white label service, or maybe they offer you a software to sell, or maybe they offer you an affiliate opportunity. And it sounds like easy extra money. So today, we're going to be talking about how to increase revenue with your existing client base in a way that feels aligned, strategic, and really does not create more work or confusion for you, for your team, and for your clients. So that's where we're going today. Now, here's one thing I want to say first is that additional revenue isn't always better revenue. So you want to be asking yourself when you're thinking about pulling in some type of a additional opportunity outside of your normal offer, and ask yourself this question: is this going to distract what from what is actually bringing dollars in the door? So you got to think about your attention is limited, right? If your team has to be involved, their focus, there's some limit to that. And also your client attention is limited. So anything that is going to fracture focus is usually going to cost more than it pays. And I want to share that what spurred this episode is I did a recent episode where I was talking about why formal referral programs rarely work and what to do instead. And it flipped the script because I got a question right after I recorded that podcast from a client who was asking about a white label and whether or not that makes sense. And so that's what spurred this particular episode. Now, I want to say I have seen this done successfully. I've seen people, offer additional products. As a matter of fact, I have a longtime client who's absolutely amazing. And she sells all different kinds of things as like add-ons to her existing offer that are things outside of her normal business. So there's commissions and there's affiliate payments and things like that. And it works in her business. But I don't see it working in everybody's business. So sometimes, again, that easy money isn't always so easy. So that's really the kind of the catalyst for this particular episode, is to really just be thinking about if it's going to add operational complexity, then it's adding work. And even if you're not the one delivering on it, if it's somebody on your team, if it's again causing them to lose focus, it may not be the right decision. Now, you may go through some of these things and go, actually, this does make sense, which great. Those are fantastic opportunities. Congratulations for those, like make them work. But sometimes, you can create a new offer with your existing clients that is inside of your business that maybe isn't going to be more work than selling somebody else's thing, to your list or to your current buyers, so things to be thinking about here. And I'll tell you one thing that comes to mind, or one thing that comes up often for me. And I've said yes enough times now to know that it rarely is to my benefit. And this is just my own experience. But one of the things that I get asked to do is participate in other people's events, right? And it's like, oh, well, you're going to get paid out. If your people come to my event, we're going to have you speak, and you'll get some percentage of the ticket sale if they buy a ticket to the event or whatever. And I know that I have done those enough times to know that at least for me, it's never really paid off. Now, my people participate, but it exhausts my lists, right? I email my list often. I make offers to my list often. And when I add in somebody else's thing, it causes I think fatigue, frankly. So for me, it's an easy when I'm looking at like, is this gonna cause focus to lose focus, either for me, for my team, or for my clients? Oftentimes, if the answer is yes to any of those, then like if it's going to cause a loss of focus, then I have to say no, even if the opportunity seems interesting, even if there's some part of it, because the thing that usually they want is they want you to post so many times on social media, they want you to email your list so many times about an event, and it just gets to be a lot if you're not you know, emailing your list very often. Maybe that is a good fit for you. It's not the right fit for my business. So the answer is almost always no. Um, so when you're thinking about what are some ways that you can increase revenue with your existing clients, think about, is there something that, you have an easy offer that you could add? Like maybe it's a monthly check-in that your clients weren't getting from you before, and it's not a heavy lift for you, but it does bring in additional revenue and offers huge value to your existing clients. Or maybe there's something else, right? That you could think about when you're thinking about increasing revenue without having to chase new clients all the time and bring in new clients all the time. It's like, what could you offer to your existing base? And maybe it's not a new offer. Maybe it's just an easy upsell to the clients that are already in the flow for you. So then if it is an affiliate or a software or something like that, then that may be easy. And therefore, it is an easy yes to bring that into your organization. So, just some things to think about is when you're deciding, is it going to make you have to create a new marketing funnel? Are you going to have to build a new audience to sell whatever this thing is? Is there going to be a heavy launch, energy needed to put into it? Does it, does it offer value for, how much more value is it for your existing client base? These are things that will help, I think, figure out whether or not you're going to say yes to bringing in an outside like opportunity. And here's 3 questions in case this is helpful for you to be asking yourself when you're making this evaluation. Does this directly solve a problem that my client already has? Does it strengthen my core service? That would be a nice, easy yes, right? If it strengthens your core service. When I was mentioning earlier about my client and one of the things that she's been successful with, a lot of times in order to do the work that her clients hire her to teach them how to do, that it does require some additional tools. So having those additional tools where she gets an affiliate or a commission when her clients buy them through her, then again, that's a like, heck yeah, that's a nice yes, because it strengthens the core service. They're able to perform at a higher level when they have access to these tools. They're able to implement more of what she is teaching them how to do. So, and then here's a third question that I really think is an important one is, would you confidently recommend this product or software or whatever it is, even if you didn't earn money from it? Would you recommend it? And I think if the answer is no to that, then you should really take a step back and ask yourself, do I want to be affiliated with this? Because if I'm only doing it for money, is that enough of a reason? And does that potentially cause confusion and or break trust with my existing clients, which neither of those things are going to be in your best interest or in your clients' best interest. But if you can say, like, answer yes to all three of those questions, again, this is like a big check, like, heck yeah, let's do this. Let's get involved in this. I'm thinking about for years, I had a client, she was a long-term client, and she had a program where she bundled in her program when people would sign up. She would bundle in her program that her people would get 3 months of access to my group coaching program, which was the Sales Maven Society. Because as a business, she's a business coach, and what she was teaching is fundamental for a very targeted, very niche market. Um, like her people needed all these skills that she was teaching. She's brilliant. She's so amazing. But they rarely had any selling skills. And now she has been a long-term client of mine. She can certainly teach some selling skills, but she also recognized that her clients would have much more success if they actually learned the things that I teach in a more like in a container. And then with her doing that, we had an agreement in place. Well, actually, it still exists. She can still send people this way, but and then if her people stayed, so she would pay me for the first 3 months, and it was built into the price of her um, of her coaching program. And then if her people decided to stay in my coaching program after that, then she would get an affiliate payment for that. And that worked really well. And it was so aligned, right, for what she was doing. And so it just made sense. Now, the thing that I loved is, and this is something I would encourage you to think about, is she was the person who decided to seek that out. It wasn't me going out saying like, "Hey, why don't you bundle my, coaching program with your coaching program?" She was looking for a way to provide, huge value, build trust, and build skill set for her clients. And also at the same time, it was a way for her to potentially continue to earn, which she did, like paid out for sometimes years for on that. And so that was a great thing for the business. So that's something that you could take a note of and go, is there something out there right now? Maybe that offer, that company with the software or whatever, maybe they haven't approached you, but you could approach them and see if that's something that's going to bring in some additional revenue for you. And that may be like even better, frankly, if you're the one who's deciding what is the piece that I'm going to seek out and bring in versus waiting for other people to come to you and pitch you on their software, their affiliate program, their XYZ. So, okay. The other thing that I would say is the most important thing is that it is really in alignment with who you are, what your business is, the impact that you want to make. And then those things make sense. So when you're evaluating what are some additional ways to increase revenue, don't overlook, is there something I could add on for my existing clients that's like I don't need a third party involved, and or is there something that's an easy third party that I should go and seek out and start to build in to the offer. And then now you're off to the races and you're running. All right. So I hope this episode was useful for you. I am interested if you're willing to share what was the takeaway for you, what stood out, and what are you thinking about now as far as like what will you do next to increase revenue without having to add a bunch more work to your plate. All right, I'm cheering you on. I'm wishing you success in all the things that you're doing. Thank you so much for being here and for listening. Have a great rest of your day.